Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Late Saturday night, Dabo Swinney, the Clemson Tigers continue to build what is really looking to be a special class in 2026 as three-star defensive lineman Cam Cody commits to Clemson. Now, this kid's intriguing. I'll start this out with, maybe something that is a little bit irresponsible to say, but we're sitting here late March on a Sunday morning. I'm going to say it anyways. You turn on the film for Kameron Cody. You look at the body type. You look at the athletic profile. It really does remind you of Peter Woods coming out of high school. Now, I'll start with this. Peter Woods, I think, was a better football player going into his senior year than a guy like Kameron Cody. But the athletic profile and kind of the play style for both of these two cats, very similar. Peter Woods was an undersized interior defensive lineman coming out of high school, played a little bit on the edge. It's exactly how we talk about Cam Cody, too. You turn on the film of Cam Cody, he's playing the nose, he's playing the three tech, he's playing out there at the five out there on the edge. And that's all the same stuff we talked about with a guy like Peter Woods as well. I think Clemson really likes this kid, and quite frankly, there's a lot to like in a class where the defensive line group, that position, I don't think is all that great in 2026. I'm okay with Clemson kind of hitching their wagon to a guy like Kameron Cody. Now, I want to get into a little bit of the film, talk about what Cam Cody brings to this Clemson defense. Before we do, and as always, the Clemson fans, it's been fun, and it's going to continue to be fun. Dabo Swinney and Clemson have identified the players that they want to add to this class. They've been doing a very good job collecting these commitments over the last couple of weeks. And to the Clemson fans who've been showing a ton of love to the boys over the last couple of weeks and months, it means the world. Appreciate you guys. We will continue to break down the commitments as they come in. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into Cam Cody. Now, again, it starts with this kid, very similar to how we talked about Peter Woods coming out, carries the weight exceptionally well. At 6'2", 285, he is a big physical kid, but then you turn on the film and say he is such a problem athletically for interior offensive linemen. Then when you put him out there on the edge, his power in the hands, that ability to play with some low pads, only being 6'2", it's there. He's a guy that I think, can do the dirty work on the inside of a defensive line because he's a little bit shorter, because he plays with good leverage. He doesn't really get moved off the line of scrimmage, but at the same time provides you a little bit of juice in terms of being disruptive, in terms of getting behind the line of scrimmage and giving you some juice in the pass rush. It's hard to find defensive linemen that can give you both. Give you that, hey, I'm going to eat up double teams. I'm going to keep my linebackers free. I'm going to do the dirty work. Even though I'm not making the play, I'm having an impact on the play. But can you also find the defensive lineman that can do that, but also give you some juice in the pass rush? I think Kameron Cody can be that kind of player for Clemson. You turn on the film and it's really fun because, one, he's extremely versatile. He lines up everywhere on the football field. First rep you're going to see, he's going to be playing the nose, head up on the center here. Really good off the line of scrimmage. Really, really good athlete. This is a guy that knows what he's doing as a pass rusher, kind of puts this tackle's face right into the turf, closes the gap between himself and the quarterback, goes out and makes a play. You continue to work through the film and say he wins in a lot of different ways. This is probably the best example of what excites me about Cam Cody. Really good get off the line of scrimmage. They're going to pull the guard to the play side here. He is going to follow this guard right into the backfield. And you can only do this if you have a really good get off the line of scrimmage. That's what Cam Cody has. Out of his stance immediately, right in the back hip pocket of this guard, and he's going to blow up the play. He's a guy that can give you those negative plays getting created, but you're also going to see him do a really good job eating up some double teams and winning at the point of attack too. He can win with some leverage and power, but he can also win as an athlete. You continue to work through it. Now he's playing out on the edge, outside of the tackle's left shoulder, and you see the power in his hands. He's launching this day. That's a grown man, not a grown man. It's a high school kid, but pretty much throws him in the air, and we're working. Really high motor on this kid too. Every single play that you see on this film here is like, hey, we're working. until that whistle blows. And that's something that I think intrigues Dabo Swinney, no doubt about it. Continue to work through the film. We're back on the middle of that defensive line playing the three tech. Really good at the point of attack. We're going to run the line of scrimmage, make a play. I believe the ball comes out as well. It's a guy that he can run the line of scrimmage, can hold up at the point of attack, can play out there on the edge, can play on the inside. A lot of things that you like. I mean, right here, you talk about motor. I mean, he's getting bear hugged here. The rest got to get his flag out of his pocket here. But hey, we're going to continue to work through the play and go make the play. I think Kameron Cody is a very intriguing prospect that screams Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers. And another thing that's probably worth noting here is that versatility on the defensive line, that ability to play the nose, to play the three tech, to play out there on the edge. Crucial in the Tom Allen defense. You know, Tom Allen wants to be versatile. He wants to throw different kind of defensive fronts at opposing offenses. It's hard to be versatile when you don't have versatile bodies. If you want to do what Tom Allen wants to do on defense, you got to get these kind of guys that can do pretty much everything on the defensive line. Again, you continue to work through it out there on the edge, showing some nice burst and bend. And again, some intriguing stuff from Cam Cody, the ability to win in so many different ways out there on the inside. Near you see the power in the hands. I mean, we're kind of just doing what we want here, getting off the block, running the line of scrimmage, and making the play. There's not 5 stars next to Cameron Cody's name. You do some digging and you kind of look at some of his junior year stuff and say, I get why Clemson made this kid a priority. And you look at the 2026 class, and I think the thing that stands out to me the most is a lot of blue chip prospects, but a lot of guys that Clemson really likes too. And they might not be blue chip guys, but I know Clemson likes. Adam Guthrie from the state of Ohio. This was a guy they've been recruiting for really the last 2 years. Tate Reynolds, quarterback from Arizona, would not be surprised if you see this kid kind of rise up the boards. He is 6'2 plus, 220, baseball background, really live arm. I think they like him. They took his commitment almost a year ago. And so Clemson has, even though some of these kids are only 3-star prospects, Graham Wise, another guy. I think Clemson really likes some of their 3-star guys they have in this class, along with the blue chip talent that they've acquired. 2 names to watch going forward. I think one, Bryce Perry-Wright. Again, these defensive line bodies there's just not that many good ones in this 2026 cycle. You land Cam Cody, you land Bryce Perry-Wright, you feel good about what you have on the defensive line. Bryce Perry-Wright might be a guy that just stays out on the edge. I'm kind of intrigued to see what that body looks like going into a senior year. Really good football player. You know, there's a reason he's a consensus top 75 prospect in the country. Last name I'll throw out there. You know, Clemson going back to the state of Georgia and kind of giving the work to Kirby Smart. 4-star running back Jay Lamar. This kid's a box checker at the running back position. 6 foot 205, thick lower half, deals with contact really well, has some nice juice when he gets to the second level. This is, you know, one of those running backs that has really caught my eye in the 2026 cycle. The momentum hasn't gone anywhere. Even though Clemson hasn't landed a commitment over the last 2 weeks, there is still a lot of juice with Clemson on the recruiting trail. And we got a big visit weekend coming up late May. I would guess you're going to see some more commitments coming out of that weekend. I think Clemson's going to look to sign a big class in 2026, and they're off to a heck of a start building in 2026. We'll close it out there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.